welfare is crucial. This for the mothers and lovers and little ones, taking care of those.
The Breath of Life Church invites you to our program, Only Believe, with Pastor T. Ngumalo to experience the knowledge of God every Tuesdays from 8 to 8:30 p.m. You can also watch the repeat every Fridays at 9:30 to 10 a.m. on channel Yemaswati. For more information, contact us 660 40 46 or 7614 72 97. You can also visit our church, The Breath of Life, where life begins.
Good evening and welcome to Channel Yemaswati News. My name is Kanyisile Mabuza. Before we start with our news bulletin, let's take a look at our top stories making headlines this half an hour. The princes and princesses of King Sobhuza II have disassociated themselves from rumors on social media that have been speaking badly about the monarchy. The Prime Minister, His Excellency Cleopas Dlamini, today paid a visit to the Ministry of Labour
and families of those who were negatively during the unfortunate nationwide upheavals which occurred recently. It is our considered view that the statements and video clips are not only a misrepresentation of the position of Bankabenhos and the nation at large, but also a flagrant disregard to the culture and protocol we have always lived and conducted ourselves by. This we have done for many decades since the departure of our father, Ingwenyama Sobhuza II, and ascendancy of His Majesty Ingwenyama Mswati III to the throne. As Bankabengosi from Ingwenyama Sobhuza II, we completely disassociate ourselves from the negative statements and statements that are attributed to us. We are all in total support of Ingwenyama, King Mswati III and Indlovukazi, as we all embrace one position that Ingwenyama is God's appointed. We also stand entirely behind the national engagement that Ingwenyama has announced through Indvuna Gininza to the nation that Ingwenyama will summon Sibaya after Ingwana, where true opinion and views of Yemaswati will be presented.
The Prime Minister, His Excellency Sipho Dlamini, today paid Labour and Social Security, where he was told about all the different departments of the ministry and how they have invested in the Kingdom of Eswatini and also assisted in the education and business as well as investment for Yemaswati. Let's have a report.
His Excellency the Right Honourable Prime Minister of the Kingdom today took a tour at the Prime Minister was accompanied by the Principal Secretary in his office and other officials from the Prime Minister's office. The Prime Minister was updated about the different departments at the Ministry of Labour and Social Security and how they work at the ministry. The Honourable Minister for Labour and Social Security, Phila Buthelezi, stated that he see the Prime Minister taking his time to come and visit the ministry so that he can educate themselves about how the ministry is operating.
You are a very busy man, Your Excellency. Kungako sithokota kakhulu lokho ukuthi ku schedule sakho lesibhizi nakangaka uthi phela ithuba kuphela itiko laka Labour. Nebakithi, you have spent a lot of time with us since morning. Akukake kwaba khona nekuthi kumbe khona kusijaka ukuthi kumbe khona la ujakele khona Excellency uteli wonke namhla.
The Undersecretary in the ministry, Mr. Mhlanga, elaborated on the challenges that they face at the ministry, which include limited office spaces and that they are hugely affected by the hiring freeze.
Kubona ukuthi le mandate lesiniketwe yona vele siyiphusha sibheka kuphi. Kwesibili lokufike kube yinkinga indzaba yokuthi yemathuluzi ekusebenza. La mathuluzi ekusebenza umuntu langakhuluma ngawo la aqonze nje ngo indzaba yetimotela nakufika umkhuhlane sishayeke sonke kwabutwa bonke ukuthi kenyalo sesiyawuhlangabetana nemkhuhlane.
Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News with Mxolisi Mavuso Babane.
The Minister for Dinkundla Administration and Development, Honorable David Ngampalala, today lit the candle in the candle lighting ceremony in remembrance of those who passed away due to AIDS in the Kingdom of Eswatini and the world at large. This has been going around. Many government departments and the ministry has taken part in this campaign that is going to be followed by the World AIDS Day in just a few days. Let's have a report.
The Minister for Dinkundla and Development, Honorable David Ngampalala, today led a candlelight ceremony ahead of the global commemoration of the World AIDS Day. The Honorable Minister encouraged Yemaswati to know their status, further stating that the issue of stigma is long gone now, as a Yemaswati who tested positive for HIV should go to the hospital and acquire the right medication so that they can be able to manage the virus.
Ukuthi kube nabomnakethu kwaba nabodadewethu labahambile basiya emhlabeni bathatha ke ukuthi lokho namuhla lusuku lothi sibakhumbule siphinde futhi sithi kulabo labasaphila bekunene lithemba lisekhona. Siyathi lona ngomkhuhlane lothema ufika wonke umuntu waba noluvalo wesaba sithi nalamuhla eMaswati sibe sonke uma solutholile unemkhuhlane sondela bodokotela impilo ikhona. Kube kwaba nesikhathi lapho bothi mawubona ukuthi nje awungathi ngawe uyadifihla asingathifihli bekunene thana ungasathi simo sakho sempilo utawukhona kusitakala. Sesibonile vele eMaswati asashilo ukuthi indlela yake yabhoduka lebheke emathuneni kodwa ngofika kwedinhlangano lethfaka nabo nature wafundisa neMaswati aba responsible ukuthi emukele simo le.
He stated that medication for HIV is now very advanced, such that a few people die because of the virus.
Seyagcwala imene singakhohlwa ke bekunene ngoba kunele kufika COVID-19 kwangathi sifo se-HIV and AIDS asisekho kanti sikhona.
The director for PSHAK, Mr. Mweli, mentioned that it is delighting to see different ministries of the kingdom playing a certain role to curb the spread of HIV and AIDS.
Leti tifo asibe nekutinaka njengoba nanyalo satahamba siye emaholideyini asitinakeni sisesemsebentini sitinakeni sisemakhaya sichubeke silandzele imigomo letsinza letinye tifo kulesikhathi sanyalo.
I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News with Mxolisi Mavuso Mbabane.
The ambassador to the European Union in the Kingdom of Eswatini today met with the Editors Forum to discuss the negative effects of the riots in the Kingdom of Eswatini on the media. This is where it was ascertained that the media was directly and indirectly attacked by various groups during this political unrest. She stated that it must have been challenging for local media to actually cover the occurrences as they happened, because she has learned that this was the first of its kind in terms of the level of violence that was in the Kingdom of Eswatini, and therefore she has taken it upon herself and her office to actually engage with the media.
I've been told many times in many places by many different people I engage with that this is unprecedented, and also I have heard from many quarters that there is this belief of the level of violence that you're also facing and having to cope with. I see and I'm told that this is not how things are normally handled in this country.
The president of the Editors Forum, Mr. Mbongeni Mbingo, stated that journalists are a very big challenge with operating during the riots because they were attacked on personal and also institutional levels.
Prevented from doing their core duty, and the atmosphere out there is no longer conducive for us to freely do what we are passionate about. And so we want to have a honest conversation on why that has happened.
Mr. Kayama Morris, the founder and director of channel Yemaswati, also narrated of the experiences that the journalists under the institution faced.
As the media, our expectations were that this impasse was going to be solved amicably. However, no one ever thought that this was going to be a revolution of such a high magnitude. Hence, it must be understood that all systems were overwhelmed. By systems, I mean the police, army, and even government, public relations department didn't know what to say or do. That left us in limbo, and the social media was hitting us hard with breaking news and latest developments. This situation left us without any form of security. The police were all over as the whole country was in flames. At one point, I called the commander of the Royal Swaziland Police, and the police came over, and they left again because there was something much more serious than our.
During this forum, most of the media houses in the Kingdom of Eswatini were severely affected by this. Yemaswati News, Mbabane.
Ngaphansi kwesiqubululo lesithi sinqoba i-AIDS letinye tifo kanye nekubandlululana live leSwatini liyobe liyingcenye.
Similar question as to what is the clear plan on how the government plans to generate income, since the soccer receipts have decreased immensely but the expenditure still stands. The Ukanyeni Member of Parliament asked if the budget is to let the country know if the financial allocations to various government departments are adequate.
Income, the source of income ingakhuli. That shortfall.
The Sipokosini Member of Parliament urged the minister to explain the under-expenditure on the budget because the country is in dire needs in many sectors.
Let decline is attributed to what, Minister? Ngileo clarity nje. Kwesibili, ngoku 22 la khuluma khona uhulumende nge-under expenditure. Ngokuthi live lihlupheke kangaka ngabe le under expenditure ibangelwa yini, Minister? Because we would expect ukusiletha inkinga lesinato mayibhuda beswendlulile ehafini njengaloko ngumid-term yalo, but la utshengisa i-under expenditure angibekise nje capital expenditure we are at 43% kulo half weminyaka. ngubuta nje minister kusingabe le under expenditure la libe live lihlupheke kangaka in a number of sectors.
The Member of Parliament at Nzingeni was asking what the fuel levy collected is for at this point, and also complained that there's a concern that the 59 constituencies are not included in any way in the budget in terms of development. The Lawamba Lomtsala Member of Parliament asked economic recovery strategies, and if there are, what would they be? The Ngwene Member of Parliament urged the Minister to explain how the government is planning to increase revenue besides heavily taxing Yemaswati, because he is projecting a big decrease in sacred seats in the near future. The Mhlangatane Member of Parliament said the country should know the position by now when it comes to electricity, because the contract will soon end with ESCOM from South Africa. He stated that it is imperative that the government paints a clear picture of the future plans. Many other members of Parliament stood up and all asked a similar question: interim economic recovery strategies and plans of the government. The minister attempted to answer some of the questions, but the conclusion was that he's going to come back with the written report. It was also announced closed for the year and is going to return. I am Kanyisile Mabuza for Channel Yemaswati News. Lumamba. 12 pupils were awarded with prizes for winning a letter writing. Awards were made by the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Education today in Matapa, who stated that this should be encouraging for the pupils since they have been staying at home due to COVID-19. Let's have a report.
The prize-giving ceremony that took place at Esibayani Lodge was a great success, whereby learners who had joined the letter writing competition were given awards. The letter writing they were divided into two sectors, English and Siswati. The winners were awarded with laptops, books, medals, backpacks, and other things. The Principal Secretary, Bektemba Gama, encourages young people to stay committed to their studies in order for them to have a bright future.
With the help of the partners, we're able to have the competition up and running and give these young people something to do while they're at home. We give them an opportunity to express their creativity through the art of writing. Those of us who grew up a long time ago, writing was our way of communicating. Nambalum was at Lance will be there, 15 or next month. Maybe Pasiana 4, and I will be there and hoping and praying that the person got that letter. And expecting me to Pasiana 4. Open up 5 million.
The letter writing competition is a initiative of upskilling young people with the art of letter writing. An art that some of us from the older generations grew on and perfected over time, as the letter was the most used mode of communication. The letter writing competition also provides an opportunity to present the important role played by the postal services in our society. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no doubt therefore that this exercise was exciting for our young people, as they got to learn more about the postal services available near them, and the excitement of going through the process followed when one is posting a letter, which I believe was a first time for many.
So for us, it's an initiative aimed at growing local authors. Also, this generation is technological, which helps us debunk some of the stereotypes associated with authorship.
Reporting for Channel Yemaswati, I am Talimpilo Dlamini and Gary Carlos at Matapa.
Today, the House of Assembly also commemorated with Nurture, the umbrella organization of fighting against the spread of HIV in the Kingdom of Eswatini. This is also well in line with the regional commemoration. Also going to introduce a commemoration that is going to be held on the 1st of December. Let's have a report.
The Parliament of the Kingdom of Eswatini today joined Nature in commemorating HIV and AIDS in the Kingdom of Eswatini. The Speaker of the House, Honorable Petros Mavimbela, said that as Parliament, they will continue supporting organizations and initiatives that spearhead the fight against spread of diseases and viruses in the Kingdom of Eswatini.
This year we have caused a shift in the way we do things. But as Parliament roll out for both and more
7,000 deaths per year, far above even COVID. The number of deaths have been reduced to 1 per year. If you look at new infections, the main infections that when you do some estimates, we assume at some point we're sitting at 12,000 new infections per given year. 5 years ago, we had 7,000 new infections per year. Today, as I told you, we have less than 2,000 infections per year with HIV. So that's a great achievement. And HIV has been the longest epidemic that the country has ever faced.
UN AIDS representative in the Kingdom of Eswatini, Ms. Rose Craig, said that the Kingdom of Eswatini has really done well since other countries find it very hard to reach 90-90. Yet the Kingdom of Eswatini has reached 95-95.
For a lot of countries, they are saying it is not possible to achieve 90-90-90. And yet Eswatini, you have achieved 95-95-95 2 years in a row. So I just want to say that this is remarkable.
Mr. Kanyamabuza, Nature Director, said that as much as the Kingdom has done well, but in the near future there will be problems such as funds, and that the people of the Kingdom of Eswatini are now fatigued when it comes to HIV and AIDS. For Yemaswati Channel, I'm Kerry Carlos, Kanbilu Dlamini.
One area they visited is Msinda, whereby from 1 billion rising. She stated that the men, women and young people of the area emphasized about finding ways to protect women from all kind of violence.
Baphindeka futhi bakukhulumisa ukuthi bomake bayadzinga nabo ukuthi bafundiswe indlela tekutiphilisa lokungaba ngilenye indlela yokuthi bakhona ukuthi bavikeleke kuhlukubeteni noma bakhona ukukhwesha noma bekhona kuhlukubeteka lababhekene nabo. Lokuhleke lokusijabulisile ukuthi labo make bagcizelele njengoba besihamba nenhlangano ye-Community Health Empowerment Forum ukuthi angeke sikhone kuhlukanisa indzaba yokuhlukubetana netempilo ngoba umuntu ohlukubetekile uyahlukubeteka uyathintheka empilweni yakhe, kungaba kusengcondweni, kungaba kusemtimbeni, kungaba kusemoyeni, kungaba noma ngabe ngiluphi ihlobo lolutawumenta ukuthi atikhanze impilo yakhe ingabi ngileyole kahle.
And with that, we have come to the end of our news bulletin. But before signing us, let's take a look at our top stories making headlines this half an hour. The royal princesses and princes from the